To power the Philips Trilogy, press the power button at the bottom right of the monitor. Note the alarm bar on top of the monitor. When operating the Trilogy on battery power, notice the AC power disconnect alert at the top of the monitor. To reset this alert, press the reset button on the right hand side. Note that the Trilogy will not operate without pressing the reset button. To operate the Trilogy on AC power, simply turn the device on at the power point. From the home screen, you will find 3 default prescriptions set. They are CPAP, ST mode ventilation, or pressure support ventilation. To run the Trilogy in CPAP mode, press CPAP passive from the home screen. There are 2 parameters showing, CPAP and fraction of inspired oxygen, or FiO2. To alter these parameters, select the settings icon at the top left of the screen. Select FiO2 on the touch screen. To adjust FiO2, simply use the slider at the bottom of the screen, sliding anywhere from room air to 100% oxygen, or by using the plus and minus keys to the right. When you are happy with your selection, press accept. Do the same thing to adjust CPAP pressure. For advanced options, press the Advanced tab on the touchscreen. You have the option to add in a backup ventilation rate. If you wish to do so, select On and Accept. You now have further features to adjust, and they are pressure support, backup rate, backup inspiratory time, and backup rise time. These settings will be used in the event of an apnea alarm, where 3 recovery breaths will be delivered, and then the ventilator will return to CPAP mode. To view the alarm options in CPAP mode, press the alarms icon on the top right of the monitor. You will notice there are 4 alarms at the top, which is standard, and they are tidal volume, minute ventilation, respiratory rate, and circuit disconnection. Also note, because the backup rate is selected, we have an apnea interval alarm. In this case, it is set to 10 seconds. To commence CPAP from the screen, press the Start Ventilation button. To turn CPAP off, press the Power button, followed by the Standby button on your touch display. For ST mode ventilation, select ST passive from the home screen. Notice that there is IPAP, EPAP, breath rate, inspiratory time, and FiO2 displayed. Note also that there is no PEEP and no pressure support option in this mode. To alter these parameters, select the settings icon on the top left of the screen. To alter any of these parameters, simply select, and as previously, use the slider at the bottom of the screen or the incremental button on the right hand side. In addition to the parameters displayed on the home screen, note that in the settings page, we also have the option to adjust the trigger type, rise time, and the inspiratory minimum and maximum times. Trigger type by default is set to auto track, although there are options for flow trigger and auto T-sense. Rise time is measured in hundreds of milliseconds, with 2 representing 200 milliseconds. To access the alarms, press the small alarms icon on the top right. We have the 4 default alarm options: tidal volume, minute ventilation, respiratory rate, and circuit disconnect. From the advanced options, you have the ability to either enable or disable the inspiratory minimum and maximum times. If it's disabled, you will simply have a minimum inspiratory time. To commence ventilation, simply select Start Ventilation, either from the settings page or the home page. To alter the clinical display, select from the Views menu. The Views menu will provide simpler and more complex displays. Display of the airflow and pressure trace can also be selected. To turn off ventilation, simply press the Power button, followed by the Standby button on the touchscreen. To select spontaneous mode ventilation or pressure support ventilation, select the PSV passive option on the home menu. Note that we have 3 parameters: pressure support, PEEP, and FiO2. To alter these settings, select the settings icon at the top left of the monitor. To change any of the parameters in PSV mode, simply select the parameter on the touchscreen and alter it using the slider control at the bottom of the monitor or the plus and minus icons on the bottom right. When you are happy with your selection, select Accept. For advanced options in PSV mode, select the Advanced tab. We have the option of adding a backup rate and an inspiratory minimum and maximum time. If a backup rate is selected, you will now have an apnea interval alarm in the alarms page. If this alarm is activated, the device will deliver 3 recovery breaths and then return to spontaneous ventilation mode. Press the Start Ventilation button to commence. To alter the clinical display, select from the Views menu. To cease ventilation, press the Power button followed by the Standby option on your touchscreen. Also remember that ventilation can be started from the home screen. To silence an alarm, select the Alarm Silence button on the bottom left of the monitor. To reset the alarm on the screen, press the Reset button. To review the alarm and events log from the home screen, press the spanner icon on the top left of the monitor. From the Settings menu, select Alarm and Event Log. This will display all alarm entries in chronological order from the most recent. To turn the alarm light bar at the top of the monitor on and off, simply select the spanner icon from the home screen, followed by the device options, and then light bar. To turn the Trilogy EVO off, select the power button on the bottom right, and then power off.